Okay, so think about the biggest pop star in the world right now. Got him in your head? Now imagine they went totally viral, but without the internet. No streaming, no social media, none of it. That is basically the story we're diving into today, the story of Johann Strauss II, who was, you could say, the original pop superstar.
But here's the twist. Imagine trying to become a famous YouTuber when your dad is literally Mr. Beast. Yeah, that was the kind of pressure he was under. His dad was a massive celebrity, so how in the world do you even start to compete with that?
So, let's start right at the beginning. Chapter 1, A Famous Father's Shadow. This is where the whole challenge really kicks off.
Right, so on one side you've got Johann Strauss I. People called him the original waltz king. He was an absolute rock star in Vienna. And on the other side, his son, Johann II, our challenger. Now here's the real drama. His dad actually told him, no music for you, and pushed him to become a lawyer. But Strauss II, he had this secret dream of making music, not just to be like his dad, but to create his own thing entirely.
And you gotta understand, Vienna back in 1825 was basically the world capital of music. It was just everywhere. It was in the air, pouring out of all the dance halls and theaters. For young Johann, it was literally the sound of his home. A life without music? For him, that was just unimaginable.
So, how does a kid go against his super famous dad's wishes and become a star himself? Well, that brings us to Chapter 2, Finding His Own Beat.
Okay, think of this whole thing like he's playing a video game. His dad is the first big boss battle, right? No music for you. So what does he do? He starts grinding. He finds teachers and trains in secret, leveling up his violin and composition skills. Then he starts building his own crew, leading small orchestras to get that crucial experience. But this last step is the most important part, the thing that changed everything. He didn't just copy his dad. He created a brand new, high-energy sound that was completely his. We're talking faster beats, more exciting melodies, music that just felt huge and made you want to get up and move.
And you know, his teachers gave him the best advice ever. They basically told him, look, don't be a remix, be an original. The whole point was never to be Johann Strauss 2.0. The point was to be a totally new artist.
And that new style he created? Oh, it worked. Big time. Which brings us to our next section, 19th century viral hits. This is the part of the story where he basically breaks the internet of his time.
So what was his secret weapon? It was the waltz. And if you're wondering, what even is a waltz? Just picture the biggest viral TikTok dance of the 1800s. It was this super energetic dance with a simple 1-2-3 rhythm, and absolutely everybody wanted to do it. It just completely took over every ballroom in Vienna.
And Strauss, he was the undisputed king of writing these viral dance tracks. I mean, this slide is basically his greatest hits playlist. You've got these total anthems, like The Blue Danube and Tales from the Vienna Woods. Then there's his super famous operetta, Die Fledermaus, and the epic Emperor Waltz. The Blue Danube especially, that was like the old town road of its day. You couldn't escape it. Everyone knew it.
But he wasn't just a one-trick pony. He also created these things called operettas. And the easiest way to think of an operetta is like a musical sitcom. You know, they were shorter than a huge serious opera, they were often really funny, and they mixed music and storytelling together. It just showed he had some serious range as a creator. With all these hits under his belt, he couldn't just stay in Vienna, right? No way. He had to go global. So, welcome to the next level, the World Tour superstar. Now, besides writing all this amazing music, he was also a famous conductor. And a conductor is basically the leader of the ultimate raid party. You've got dozens of musicians, and you have to get them all to attack the music with perfect timing, perfect energy. Strauss was an absolute master at this. His stage presence was legendary. And he took that show on the road. I mean, just look at this timeline. In the 1840s, he conquers his hometown, Vienna. By the 1860s, he's basically dominating all of Europe. A decade after that, he's taking his tours all the way to Russia. And then, in 1872, he does something almost unheard of. He crosses the Atlantic to tour America. His music had officially gone global. And through all of this, his output was just insane. He left behind a legacy of over 100 major compositions. We're talking waltzes, polkas, operettas, just a massive, massive catalog of certified hits. So why are we still talking about this guy today? You know, over 100 years later. That brings us to our final chapter, the Strauss legacy.
He passed away in 1899, and that was really the end of an era. But his music? Oh, it was just getting started.
Because his music didn't just fade out after a few years. Nope. It turned into something way bigger, something permanent.
It became the official soundtrack for celebration. Even today, when people celebrate New Year's in Vienna, what music do you think they play? You guessed it, the Blue Danube. His work became timeless, forever connected with joy and those big, happy moments in life.
So if there's one single thing to take away from his incredible story, it's this. Johann Strauss II proved that it doesn't matter whose shadow you start in. You can always create your own light and build a legacy that lasts forever.
Which kind of leaves us with one last thought. His music has stuck around for over 150 years. So, what song that's popular today do you think people will still be listening to, say, in the year 2170? Seriously, think about it.